Well, good morning, everybody. I hope everybody's day is going great. Mine started off fantastic. Took the dog out for a walk, had some breakfast, went for a little side-by-side ride through the desert, found some new trails. That's always a very fun thing. Today, we're continuing our episodes on RV upgrades from the Big Tent Show here in Quartzsite, Arizona. As my wife and I start our retirement sort of nomad, quasi snowbirding, quasi RVing recreation lifestyle, we've realized that our fairly new trailer, a couple years old, it's a couple's trailer, big king bed, theater seating, fireplace, TVs, the whole bit, but not terribly long. But we do realize we need some different upgrades. One of the upgrades that we've talked about is how we handle Starlink. And we have Starlink at home, and so we bought the roaming package when we started to get on the road, and we've been setting it out on the ground or putting it up on the roof of the RV, etc., 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 all to various limited success. And so today, I wanted to show you one of the purchases from the Big Tent, and that is the FlagPole Buddy Starlink system. And what intrigued me on this is the speed of which you can put it up on your unit. Excuse me, sorry, dry throat. On your unit without always clambering up and down the ladder. And so that's what we're going to go through today is we'll do an install on this. I'll sort of show you what I've normally been doing out here in the desert. And we'll then do a demonstration how quick this is to set up and then to take back down off your trailer, your fifth wheel, your bus coach, your bus conversion, whatever the case might be. When I looked at it, and I've looked at it for a little while now, but I didn't commit. But when I saw it in person and they actually demoed it to me so I could see how I actually would use it in real life, I thought, yep, this might be the answer. Cost was $190, so $200 American. So call it about right now with the exchange rate, 280 or so, 275 Canadian. But still, if it works and I don't fall off the roof and I can set it up regardless if it's daylight, nighttime, everything else, and it's pretty easy. It is directable, which is nice. So what comes with the FlagPole Buddy Starlink setup? Let's check it out. First of all, you get this great carry bag, which is always good to be organized in an RV. You get a couple of the poles, and they lock together. They have, as you can see, they have little locking points, and this is, not sure if the right word is chamfered in, but it's a smaller diameter to fit. It's an ID diameter to fit inside the other pipe. Then there seems to be a bunch of other stuff at the bottom of the bag. Let's see what we have here. We have the instruction pole set up as well as a safety strap that they told me about. We also have, very nicely packaged, we have the brackets for the ladder on the trailer. The bracket to actually go on the pole to hold the Starlink setup. And then if I remember correctly, they do ask you which Starlink you have. Do you have the travel one, that new little flat panel? Do you have the old round panel one, or do you have the rectangular one? We have, I'll call it the mid-generation rectangular one. And they told me, sorry for the crinkling of the bag, I have not opened this till now. They told me that this is the adapter that we need for Starlink. And it's the FlagPole Buddy one. It's not 3D printed. It's actually actually a die form, which is cool. Patent pending. And yeah, it's for, and it even looks like a little rocket ship. Is that hilarious or what? They made the Starlink look like a rocket ship. Well, hopefully it doesn't do what happened to Elon Musk's last launch, where the rocket blew up. What, 2 minutes into the flight or something? Let's hope that doesn't happen, but it is cute. They made this into a rocket. That's actually, it's ridiculous that I find that amusing, but I actually do that. That's actually pretty neat. So we will make like a rocket and get some elevation and show you what we got going on the roof. and then we'll continue with the install. Oh, well, hello. I see you're up here already on the roof. You beat me to it. As you can see, here we have the Starlink. And what I've done is I actually tape it with duct tape to the upright that holds up the ladder. And as a security point, I add one of those big 100-pound zip ties just for security. I've taped the little feeties here. You can see over here to make sure they don't eat into the rubber roof. And so far it's worked, even through 75-mile-an-hour wind gusts. It's held really good. But I think we can do a lot better, and that is what we're going to work on today. So we'll get this taken off, and I'll hand it down to my wonderful wife so I don't drop it and break it. And then we'll go back down to the ground, and we'll work on the phase of putting together the FlagPole Buddy StarLink mounting system, which I'm really quite excited about. So the first step is to put on the top part of the flagpole mount, and that goes up into the top ladder. So I'm going to go do that now. So I rejigged my setup a little bit. I thought for additional safety I'd move the truck over here, and I'd be able to use the razor deck that I hold the razor on to hopefully make this a little easier. I think they do everything okay. I'm not sure I like their choice of fasteners. I'm sure there's a reason, but I don't know if they considered you're up on a ladder, and I guess their expectation would be that everybody's assembling this at home and everybody else has an extra ladder on their RV rather than just our RV ladder. And I used to carry all that stuff, but you can go insane carrying things. Now, the one ladder I am interested in for RVing is that expandable one. It folds down super small, and I think that one would be really good. Well, instead of you guys watching me fumble around with this and get frustrated here, we're going to let the video play. I'll fast forward it or speed it up, and then when things actually get interesting again, then we will put it back on to watch actually assembling the StarLink. Okay, that's what the top piece looks like, secured on. They want it a little closer to the top of the roof, but if you see here, I have the two cross members here, so this is where it's strongest to the unit, and so with winds pulling at it, I wanted it firmly affixed to the unit, not giving any leverage room. And I think I'll do the same down below, just to ensure that that's at the right spot. I see I gotta wash my trailer from all this dust in the desert, but right now I think that will work, and we'll get on to the next phase. So one thing important to note is they do supply you this little FlagPole Buddy tool, and I didn't even pay attention to it. And I mucked around with their little deep set. They've got deep set holes that you got to put a nut into, and I couldn't find my deep sockets, and I was getting a little frustrated. And so I actually went and looked back at the instructions, and lo and behold, they give you a great little tool. So this piece has to go onto here, and this holds the bottom of your pole. You need it perpendicular, straight up and straight down. And then, how the heck does a person get a nut seated down into there? Well, actually pretty easy when you use the right tool. So you use a little tool that they provided to you right here, and we're going to start that into this whole nut area here, and lo and behold, in about 32 seconds it's solid until we have the bottom bracket put on now. That's going to hold the bottom of the post. The post will go up and go into that X brace and be held up. So I'm going to give you a little bit of a wider frame, go get the poles, and we'll see how this thing works. Okay, so I have the pole. What you do is you put the pole in the X brace, like so. You raise it up. Raise it up. Bring it back down to sit into there. And I might have it a little higher than what we want, but that might work out well because I can get up the stairs. So I think we're going to keep it that way for now. And to get it out, you simply twist out like so. And there you go. Only thing, as I said, I don't know if I like is that I end up... Oh no, that's good. Yeah. Yeah, so I'm going to see if I want it there or if I want it here. I think I want it about there. Would be better, I think. Yeah. I'm going to move this piece here, bring it down, so it means taking it all apart, and put it back onto this lower one. So hold on. Okay, everybody, what I've done is reposition you to put on the bottom mount, which we have here. So we first have to put on the mount pieces, like up top, and then we put on the bottom of the flagpole holder, which is right here. I'm sorry for any camera movement, it's quite windy here in the desert today. But let's get going on this and see how this puts together here. First case, drop your tools all over the place. That always helps when you're doing something. So I think I want it down here. So I'm just going to get the first one started to hold everything. And we'll get the other 3 roughed in. Then we'll start tightening. I think putting it here is a good spot. The reason being is it's right in between the bottom brace, which is just down here, and the middle brace. So it's really held tight against the trailer here, which is a good thing. Pick up my drop tools, carry on. So far, I think I like the whole concept of this. We'll see once we're going how it is. But yeah, I think I can tell you this will be a lot easier getting the StarLink on the pole and then just throwing it up rather than doing what I was doing previously, which was climbing up the ladder. My wife would hand me the StarLink. I would put it up, preferably without falling on my head, and away we go. So again, they do give you this handy dandy little tool. I brought out my stronger set simply because it's a little more robust, and I can put some better torque on it to get these going. So you don't want to tighten up any one particularly hard yet until you have them all in place, and then we will work at snugging them all up. It's not very warm out in the desert today. It's only about 50 some degrees, 8 to 10 to 12 Celsius, so not particularly nice, but still a heck of a lot warmer than where I come from, which is central Alberta. I think the other night my kids told me that it was minus 40 with wind chill Celsius. And even when you're born and raised in Canada, when you start talking minus 40 Celsius, which is basically minus 40 Fahrenheit, you're talking some severe cold. So we're going to straighten this out, even to the ladder, get down on this point, tighten these up. Yeah, I'm liking this thing. If it lasts, I think it'll be an absolutely great investment on making this whole type of life for my wife and I very enjoyable. Okay, so the bottom bracket's on. Now what we have to do is put on this, which holds the bottom of your flagpole tube that goes up. So that just sits like yay. And it's got a very deep hole there. That's why they give you this special little tool. And up top, this is what I was messing around with and couldn't figure out. And I was sort of cursing them, to be honest, until I found the tool. So, FlagPole Buddy, if you're watching, I apologize, because you did have a fix. And your fix actually works very, very well. So the secret is not to lose. Okay, well look at that. So bottom mounts up, top mounts up. I'm going to zoom you out for a second, and we will see how the FlagPole Buddy, how the pole goes in. We'll test fit that, and then we'll work on getting the StarLink into the pole. Okay, I've zoomed you out. I'm just going to come walking over and get the pole. The pole comes in two pieces. So I got the pole all put together, and you're just supposed to put it up like an X like that, bring it up, slide it back down, and you are in place. And look at that. That is absolutely fantastic. I think that's going to be amazing. And then you lock in this set screw at the back so it can't rotate. Oh yeah, that is fantastic. I really like that. Okay, so next phase will be taking this back out. Look how easy it comes out, and we'll put the StarLink on this. So give me a moment and we'll get at that. Okay, we've got the StarLink dish off its base. Pulled out the wire. They say do not mount this. Do not run the wire through. Do not run the wire through. Keep the wire on the outside. So we're going to make sure we don't have it run through anything. We're going to plug this wire back in. It just runs up like so. And we are going to run this thing down do your snap, and that is it. And then what they say you do is a flagpole, this smaller end fits right in here. You compress the little clips, and there you go. Okay, we're going to pause here a minute, and we'll take you over and we'll see how it fits going up the ladder, and how it is to put up there, and then we'll run our wires. The other thing they do give you is wire snaps, so we'll put those in right now. They give you 3 wire clips that look like this, and the wire clips just snap in. So we'll put one sort of up at the top here, like yay. I think what I'll do is I'm just going to position this like so for a minute. I hope you can still see what I'm doing. Let me come and do a quick check here. Just a little adjustment, sorry. So I got the first wire clip on. I'm going to put on the second wire clip. And they don't get around. Those wire clips are snug. And then we'll do a third wire clip down below here. Like so. Okay. Now what we're going to do is I'll move you back over, and we'll see how this works against the trailer, lifting it up. So see you in a moment. Okay, so I'm going to carry over the pole with the StarLink already on it. You can see it's all up there, and we shall see how this works. I see the only problem I made is I got a loop. I have to move the wire around. So 1 second. We'll do that. So the wire has to sit on the opposite side, which makes sense. Okay. Put it back up there. Clip it in. Oh, that's better. Lift it up to where it should be. And presto, we're in. We can tighten this up. And there we go. That seems pretty darn secure, to be honest. Much better than what we had before. So as you can see, I'll try to get you up in the air here. So coming down, there's that first point. It holds. Got the wiring coming down, and then there's it held on this second point. Then they do give you a strap. I'll install that in a second. But yeah, I am very happy with that. Okay, I'm going to let you go now, and I'll give you a final wrap up when we got it back running. So far, pretty darn happy. So welcome back. So that is the final install of the FlagPole Buddy StarLink Mount, roughly 200 bucks American. I'm very happy with it. I'm going to get a shorter cord and properly route StarLink now that we have a system. My wife did ask why so high above the top of the trailer, and it's roughly 3 feet. The reason is I'm a pretty big guy, and I didn't want to try crawling up that ladder and needing to get on the roof and breaking the StarLink. So this way, if it's up a little higher, I'm a little more secure going up and down the ladder. And I also figure it's further out of obstructions. Anyways, very impressed. Thank you, StarLink. I did pay for this with my own money. This is not sponsored. And I just thought I'd give you guys my honest review. Oh, you just saw Starlink trying to find its satellites or satellite. And so we'll let it do its thing. Thank you so much for watching. Talk to you later. Until next time.